All right, we're going to talk about a huge leap in AI today. I mean, a shift that goes way beyond just talking and into doing. This isn't just an AI with a mind, it's an AI with a hand.
So, you've probably played around with AI chatbots, right? You ask them to brainstorm something or maybe write a first draft. But what if? What if you could give an AI a big, ambitious goal, just walk away, and then come back to find a completely finished product? I'm not talking about a suggestion. I mean the actual final result. Well, that's exactly the mission behind a new tool called Manus AI. And I love how its creators put it. They say it bridges the gap between conception and execution. Basically, it's built from the ground up to take your ideas and just make them real, all on its own.
Okay, so let's get into it. Part 1. What exactly is Manus AI? And let me tell you, it's way beyond your typical chatbot.
The difference here is, well, it's fundamental. Think about it. With a normal chatbot, you feed it a prompt, right? And it spits back a suggestion. With an agent like Manus, you give it a goal, a big picture objective, and then it goes off, it plans, and it actually acts to give you a finished product. It's really the difference between an advisor and a doer.
So the fancy term for this is an autonomous agent, and the key word there is autonomous. It means it can work without you constantly looking over its shoulder. You just set the objective, and it figures out all the how-to steps by itself.
You know, a really good way to picture this is to think of it like a digital employee. For real. You give it a project, and it gets its own computer up in the cloud to work on it. It can browse the web, it can write code, use all the tools a person would. And the crazy part? It keeps on working even after you shut your laptop for the day.
All right, part 2. So how does this thing actually think? Let's look at how it goes from a goal to a finished action. So at its core, it's running on this really simple but powerful 4-step loop. First, it has to understand what you're asking for. Then it plans out a whole to-do list to make it happen. Next, it executes every single one of those steps using whatever tools it needs. But here's the magic. This is the really cool part. If it gets stuck, it adapts. It actually self-corrects and tries a new way. It just keeps iterating until the job is done. Incredible.
Now, don't picture this as one giant AI brain doing everything. No, it's actually a multi-agent system. The best way to think about it is like a highly specialized project team. You've got one sub-agent that's a master researcher, just browsing the web. Another one is a coder. Another is a data analyst. And Manus is like the project manager, coordinating this whole team, making sure the right expert is on the right task to get your goal accomplished.
Okay, part 3. From prompt to product. I mean, the theory sounds amazing, right? But what can this thing actually do in the real world? Let's dig into some use cases, because this is where it gets really good. So let's kick things off with a pretty high-stakes scenario. Let's say you have $250,000, 250 grand, and you want to invest it. Your goal for the AI, it sounds simple, but it's unbelievably complex. Turn that $250K into $500K. Double it. And do it as efficiently as you can, focusing on a few stocks like, say, Tesla, Meta, and Nvidia. So what happened? Well, after doing some seriously deep research and market analysis, it came back with a recommendation. Nvidia. But here's the thing, it didn't just give a stock tip. The deliverable was this incredibly comprehensive investment report. It laid out all its reasoning, a full comparison against the other stocks, and even a complete risk assessment. Wow. And it's not just a finance whiz either. Its skills are way broader. It's also a full-stack developer. I mean, you can just give it a URL, and it will clone an entire website. It analyzes the structure, pulls down the assets, and writes every line of code from scratch, just from a URL. The versatility here is it's staggering. You can throw mission-critical tasks at it from totally different departments. Tell it, audit my website's SEO, and boom, you get a full report with fixes you can actually use. Ask it to create a course on AI, and it builds you an entire interactive website. From analyzing sales data to screening a pile of resumes, it doesn't just give you ideas, it delivers a finished, professional-grade product every time.
Which brings us to part 4, the future of work. We're really talking about moving from just having an idea to making an impact. Look, if there's one single thing you take away from all this, let it be this. AI is making the jump. It's shifting,
from being just an idea generator to being an executor. It's the difference between a brainstorming meeting and a completed project.
And this whole idea is captured perfectly in its name, actually. Manus is the Latin word for hand. It's a nod to that old motto, mens et manus, mind and hand. It's all about the idea that knowledge is kind of useless until you actually apply it, until you use your hands to make a real impact on the world. So this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. For pretty much all of human history, our hands have been the bottleneck for our imagination, right? The ideas were always bigger than what we could build. But what happens when your AI can be the hand that builds your ideas? What then? Suddenly, the only real limit left is what